Hey everybody, Economic Ninja here. I hope you're doing great. Got a story out of Canada. It's about real estate, but if you're in America, stick with this because us in Canada, I don't know if you know this, we're a little tied together. And I just flew back from Vancouver, happy to be home. I should have done this story while I was in Canada, but I was talking with so many of you from Canada telling me about the real estate markets, the ins and the outs, what you were seeing. And this story is very telling. And again, as Canada's real estate market collapses, so too is going to be America. But Canada has a headwind that we don't have to deal with here in America, and I'm going to explain that in a second. The story is one that I just literally lost. It's entitled Canadian Real Estate Prices to Fall Lower. Worst case is a return to 2014 values. And this is from Oxford Econ. I actually am going to respectfully disagree and say that you are going to see something much worse than what happened in 2008, even in Canada. It says here, Canadian real estate prices are still falling and prominent research firms sees further declines. Oxford Economics. You know what, and let me stop right here, guys. I do have some more of those 80% discount rates for the real estate crash course. And let me explain right here, when you're seeing these companies coming out with this data points, they know the truth, but they would rather 100% guarantee that they're right. So they tell you that it's gonna be bad, but it's only gonna be this bad. When I'm telling you right now, it's going to be this bad. And the reason why we know that is because of what's going on with the mortgage rates in both Canada and in America, okay? But not only that, this is where it gets really gnarly because this is so much worse than what happened from 2004 to 2006 with the Federal Reserve raising rates and Canadian banks raising rates back then because you have inflation, all right? So they're going to tell you it's going to be this bad. They will be able to say, see, we told you. I'm going to tell you, it's going to be even worse, and then I'll be able to say, see, I told you. And it's not because I have a crystal ball, or crystal balls, I don't know. Sorry, Ninja, stop it. This is a kid's show. Point being is this. It's because it's true fundamentals. We know that this is the reality. When interest rates go up, and people are faced with not only higher borrowing costs, but also higher inflation, which we haven't seen since 1980, the end is nigh. And what's funny is that this cycle takes a lot longer than most people see. So you get to see this as it's happening. This is a slow moving train wreck. And you know the train is still on tracks. It's still moving. But even if it's going a mile an hour and it's just creeping and it's going to push up against a semi-truck, eventually the train's going to win, even though it's slow. Think about that. The train, it's not like hurling towards it at a fast speed and then crashes and explodes. It's just like pushing, tips over, pushing, just splits in two, and the train's still moving. That's where we're at right now, okay? So it says, Oxford Economics updates its housing outlook for Canada today, with a key insight being home prices are still projected to fall further. They say Canada is only about halfway through the correction if things don't break. If things get really bad, the firm warns that home prices can still be cut in half and fall back to 2014 levels. Now it says, again, they're still just halfway to the bottom. It says Canadian real estate prices are falling and expected to continue to do so in the near term. The firm's baseline scenario forecast sees home prices falling 30% in total from peak to trough. That leaves us just under halfway to the target with another 17% in value to go. If this occurs, housing would still touch the top of the affordability range. Comment below if you think that it's still in the affordability range in Canada right now. I already know. If you're from Canada, let me know. I already know the answer, but I love hearing these comments. It says it'll still touch the top of the affordability range, though they warn Toronto and Vancouver would still be unattainable to most of the population. Now that brings me to my point. The headwinds that Canada is dealing with that we don't have to face right now in America is that the Canadian real estate market has been blown up exponentially due to heavy buying coming out of China. And this has been going on for well over a decade. And, I remember the 2014, 2015 scenario in Canada where, Chinese buyers were coming in prior to that and they were bidding up large homes that were literally destroyed, decrepit. And people were like, that just sold for what? I mean, you can't even live in that. China didn't care. Investors were buying up real estate there to essentially get money out of their country. That still happens today, where I've talked about how even the Canadian authorities had to get involved with China's hunger to eat up all of the shares on the open market of and sometimes off market of lithium companies. And Canada said, you got to divest right now. We're not going to let you, pull all the market share of all of our lithium companies. Well, it's the same thing with real estate, but they haven't exactly dove in yet and really started to smack them. I'm pretty sure there's some legislation going on and some rumors that Canada's lawmakers are going to try and stop this from happening. And honestly, I think you should. I hope some lawmaker from Canada seriously watches this and goes, you know what, we should stop doing that, because we're actually selling off our real estate to other countries and we're hurting our people. Honestly, the government of Canada has done enough, in my opinion, to hurt its own population. Why don't you start helping them? That's what a government should do. It should be for the people, by the people. But hey, this is just the economic ninja saying this. This is why I wrote the side hustle course. It's so simple, but not a lot of logic goes into buying or selling real estate. And that's what separates a speculator from an investor, or somebody that listens to the salesperson getting a commission. Oh yeah, you should buy now because you're not going to be able to afford. Ebbs and flows happen in every market, and this real estate crash is going to be something that you have never seen in your lifetime. I can guarantee it. The problem is you're going to have to watch that slow motion train push over the real estate market and slowly push it over and crack it and break right through. Train can't be stopped. Inflation's already raging. Interest rates are already up there, and they're not going to go down anytime soon. They want to be in a position that the market is obviously crashing, you are screaming and yelling and needing help, and then they're going to go, okay, now we're going to do something. While the backside, all they do is buy up your real estate from you because you can't pay your mortgage for pennies on the dollar. It's the exact same thing that happened in 2008. Guys, I hope you're ready for this. It's going to be awesome. I'm going to put some links down below to that course. I hope you have a great day. The Economic Ninja is out.